A major investigative breakthrough now shifts the trajectory of high-profile Nancy Guthrie abduction. The FBI now says a DNA sample recovered from a discarded glove near the Arizona home of Nancy Guthrie appears to match the gloves worn by a masked prowler caught on doorbell camera footage shortly before she vanished. The 84-year-old, mother of television journalist Savannah Guthrie, was last seen on January 31st after family members dropped her off at her Tucson area residence following dinner. She was reported missing the very next day. Now, investigators believe they may be closer than ever to identifying the man who abducted her. According to the FBI, preliminary findings from a private crime laboratory in Florida were delivered Saturday and are now undergoing quality control and official confirmation before being submitted into the National DNA Database. That system, known as Combined DNA Index System, can typically return potential matches within 24 hours of submission. The glove carrying the DNA profile was discovered in a roadside field roughly 2 miles from Guthrie's home. It was one of about 16 gloves collected by investigators combing the area. Most were determined to have been dropped by search teams, but one glove stood out. Authorities say that glove appears consistent with the pair worn by a man in a ski mask seen in surveillance footage in the early morning hours before the abduction. The masked individual is seen attempting to disable Guthrie's doorbell camera. He is also observed carrying an overstuffed backpack and wearing a firearm in a holster. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has said he is certain that individual is the primary suspect. The sheriff has described the case as deliberate and targeted. Investigators have already confirmed that blood found on Guthrie's front porch belonged to her. DNA testing verified the traces last week, intensifying fears about what may have happened inside the home. Authorities have repeatedly stressed that Guthrie was extremely limited in her physical mobility and could not have left the house unassisted. She was described as frail, reliant on daily medication, and fitted with a pacemaker. 2 ransom notes have surfaced since her disappearance. Both were delivered initially to news organizations, escalating the national spotlight on the case. No proof of life has been provided, but Sheriff Nanos has also made clear there has been no proof of death. In a dramatic development late Friday night, sheriff's deputies and FBI agents executed a federal court-ordered warrant at another residence in an affluent neighborhood less than 2 miles from Guthrie's home. Authorities confirmed that a person was questioned during a related traffic stop, though no arrests have been made. Meanwhile, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings, Cameron and Annie, have issued emotional public appeals for their mother's return. In one recorded message, they expressed a willingness to meet ransom demands, pleading directly with whoever is responsible. The abduction has drawn intense national attention and prompted expressions of support from President Donald Trump. Yet despite weeks of investigation, the case remains unresolved. Now, all eyes turn to the DNA. If confirmed and matched within the national database, it could provide investigators with a name, a face, and potentially the breakthrough they have been desperately seeking. The question tonight is stark and urgent. Will this DNA sample finally expose the masked figure seen in the shadows? Or will the mystery surrounding Nancy Guthrie deepen even further?
The FBI has released new images of a masked, armed individual captured outside the Tucson home of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of news anchor Savannah Guthrie, who vanished in the middle of the night. One suspect has been also detained. 8 days after her disappearance, authorities say this is the first major breakthrough. The newly recovered footage shows a person approaching the front door in the early hours, examining the camera, then deliberately covering the lens with vegetation pulled from the ground. Investigators say the individual appears to have tampered with the surveillance system before moving away.
The FBI just released the first surveillance video from outside Nancy's home. The Guthrie family says they believe their 84-year-old mother is still alive, and authorities are hopeful she is too. The black and white video released Tuesday shows a masked person on Nancy's porch the night she went missing. The person is wearing a mask, a backpack, long sleeves, and pants. It also appears they're wearing a handgun holster on their waist. Up until now, investigators say they had little digital evidence. A doorbell camera was disconnected early Sunday, and the local sheriff says while the software data recorded movement on the home minutes later, the footage couldn't be recovered because Nancy did not have an active subscription.
FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed that law enforcement worked to retrieve images that were previously inaccessible. New images released Tuesday were recovered from residual data in back-end systems, Patel said, after investigators spent days searching for potentially lost, corrupted, or inaccessible images or video. Nancy Guthrie was last seen on 31 January. Authorities believe she was taken against her will. Blood discovered on her porch was later confirmed to be hers. The timeline is deeply troubling. At 1:47 local time, her doorbell camera was disconnected. At 2:12, the system registered motion. By 2:28, the monitoring app connected to her pacemaker abruptly stopped communicating with her phone. Police say she requires daily medication and has limited mobility, intensifying fears for her safety. Savannah Guthrie has made repeated public appeals. On Tuesday, she shared the new footage on Instagram, urging the public to help identify the masked figure. "Someone out there recognizes this person," she said. "We believe she is still out there. Bring her home." The FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to her recovery. The case has drawn national attention, reaching the White House. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed that President Donald Trump has reviewed the footage and is urging anyone with information to contact authorities.
Is there anything more you can share? You said the president was reviewing that surveillance footage. What was his initial reaction when seeing those disturbing images? And does he believe that that suspect acted alone?
I haven't talked to him specifically about the second point on whether the suspect acted alone or not, so I don't want to weigh in on the president's thinking on that. His initial reaction, of course, as all Americans, is just pure disgust. And again, it's heartbreaking to see now this footage really bring to life a story we've all been reading about. And again, we're just praying for the safety of Nancy Guthrie and that she will return home soon. And the president directed me to please encourage all Americans with any information to call the FBI, and we hope that this case will come to a positive resolution as soon as possible. The president encourages any American across the country with any knowledge of the suspect to please call the FBI, who continue to assist state and local authorities who are leading this investigation on the ground. And once again, I will reiterate that the prayers of this entire White House are with Savannah and her family at this time, and we hope this person is found soon and that her mother is brought home safely.
Meanwhile, investigators are examining ransom communications sent to U.S. media outlets. At least 3 ransom notes have surfaced, including one demanding payment in Bitcoin. One individual was arrested in connection with a hoax message. Authorities are treating other communications seriously. Questions have also emerged about the surveillance technology itself. The doorbell camera at the property has been identified as a Nest device, part of Google's home security range. Initially, officials indicated that recorded footage was unavailable due to a lack of subscription access. However, it now appears that video from the critical window was successfully retrieved. Even without a paid plan, most Nest devices allow live streaming and limited short-term access to captured imagery. With camera functionality, footage is transmitted to company servers. It remains unclear why the footage was not released earlier or what legal processes were involved in securing it. Google has not publicly commented on whether it responded to a warrant in the case. For investigators, the masked figure may hold the key. The images are grainy but clear enough to show deliberate action, approach, inspection, obstruction. It suggests planning. It suggests intent. For the Guthrie family, hope remains. This marks the 4th public appeal in recent days, including an offer to pay for Nancy Guthrie's safe return. The family insists they believe she is still alive.